Chapter 53, Big Boss Man, Jimmy Reed. Originally released on the album Found Love, VJ, 1960. Written by Luther Dixon and Al Smith. You're the big boss man, the master of the house with a reputation for being cheap and stingy. You're the famous chieftain, the enormous tight-fisted penny pincher who treats all the workers like errand boys. You hold the purse strings and walk the corridors of power, the despot who rubs the print off a dollar bill. Modern man is your employee, servile and hypocritical. He's the informed citizen, the rational being, the yes-man and the ass-kisser, and his temple is the movie theatre. He's working for you round the clock, and he's dehydrated. It would take oceans of water to cleanse him from his previous lives. He needs rivers of poetry and music, but you won't let him pause or stand down for a second from his chores. Labour unions, uprisings, revolts, empty threats. You don't pay attention to any of that. You let that all go. You're above it all. You're the cyclopean giant. You're on the right side of history. The supreme oligarch, the generalissimo, the over-the-top overlord, who treats the whole world like butlers and chambermaids. You're a man of distinction. You should be happy that people want to emulate you. Jimmy Reed, the essence of electric simplicity. He can play 12-bar blues in hundreds of variations, and Jimmy Reed must have known them all. None of his songs ever touch the ground. They don't stop moving. He was the most country of all the blues artists in the 50s. He's slick and laid back. There's no city concrete beneath his feet. He's all country. Jimmy Reed is about space, about air being moved around the room. You feel like you can see the light hitting the dust as it swirls under the sway of music. You put him with Jimmie Rodgers and Thelonious Monk, two other musicians whose work never sounds crowded no matter how many players are there. Some musicians are like muscle cars, not Jimmy Reed. He's just happy that the seats are comfortable and the radio works. No Chicago blues, nothing sophisticated, light as a feather, flies through the air and rolls on the ground. When they say rock and roll, the roll part belongs to Jimmy Reed. If he's not there, you can't think of it as rock and roll. One of his songs even says, "Let it roll," and he knew what he was talking about. You got me running, you got me hiding. You got me run, hide. Run any way you wanna, let it roll. Yeah, Jimmy. He plays the harmonica through a neck rack, and you can't do too much with a harp in a neck rack. But he found a way to pull it off, and even today he can't be imitated. Every song has a signature harmonica run. It signs off on everything, just like Jimmy Rodgers' yodel. It's the same thing, really. Little Walter, as great as he was, would be out of place on a Jimmy Reed record, as would Jimi Hendrix. There's no place for that on a Jimmy Reed record. It would even be hard for Keith Richards to find something to do. Jimmie Rodgers and Jimmy Reed, they got a lot in common beside their name. Jimmy's wife, that's Jimmy Reed, had a lot to do with his songs too. She's probably writing them as he's singing them, and it sounds like they're both doing it off the top of their heads. You can hear her plaintive voice on most of Jimmy's records. She never overshadows him. Same thing with Jimmy Rodgers' wife. She doesn't sing with him, but she helped him write a lot of his great songs.